Hello, 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 all my pre-K teachers. How are you guys doing today? It's Camille Ellis here. I hope that you are having an awesome day so far. So today I wanted to talk about three reasons why new teachers struggle with classroom management. Um, so, and it could be pre-K teachers as well as uh, any teacher. Typically, new teachers struggle within the classroom, number one, because it's a lack of self-awareness. As a teacher, it is so important for you to be aware of your of what drives you, of what your triggers are, and of what your sense of why you're there, right? So if you don't have a strong sense of self, a strong sense of why you are doing what you're doing, what you what your goals and standards are for your room or for your students, it's going to be extremely hard for you to manage the classroom, because if you don't have a clear vision of how you want the classroom to run, of how you want your students to move through the classroom, of how you want to respond to various situations that will come up in your classroom. If you're not aware of that, if you haven't thought about it, if you haven't planned it out of how you're going to handle that, then you're not going to be prepared when it comes up. And the thing that about it is that it's not a matter of if it comes up, it's a matter of when it comes up, because it will come up. You will have to face some things in your classroom that they did not cover in your undergraduate or graduate program. Okay, let's just let that sink in for a second. You will be facing things that you did not cover in your online program or in your degree program. So it's very important for you to be aware of the fact that, number one, things will come up. Number two, it's important for you to have a way to um, decide how you're going to handle it. And number three, what you really want the outcome to be. Okay, so being self-aware, self-awareness is one of the main reasons why new teachers struggle so much in their classroom. Number two, um, the second reason why new teachers struggle so much is also has to do with unawareness, and it's they're unaware of how important the environment is. The classroom environment that you cultivate in your room is extremely important, right? So you th- if you don't realize how important the environment is, then you're not gonna you're not gonna be able to be deliberate and intentional about the environment that you create, or the frameworks or the goals or the core values that you create for your classroom. So it's extremely important for you to be aware and to know how important your classroom environment is. I was a substitute teacher for about a year before I actually, got into early childhood. And I covered a kindergarten class as well as a junior high school. So shout out to A.W. Cunningham. So I was a regular sub at this junior high school. And every single time I walked into a classroom, it didn't matter what age or what grade it was, I knew that I was the one who had to set the precedent. And being that I was a substitute teacher, I probably wasn't going to see these kids again. It was just for one day. I knew going in that I had to establish myself as the authority in the room. I had to establish what this classroom culture was going to be like, right? And I wasn't a super strict, I never really looked at myself as a substitute teacher that was super duper strict, but I also wasn't a pushover, right? And they tried it sometimes, and I had to let them know that this is not how this is going to go. But I was aware that I had to show up at that classroom early, and I had to make sure that what the energy that I brought with me, like I had to be aware of myself, right? And the energy that I was bringing, so that the students would know what the expectation was. And I had to set the tone in the room, and it was different every period of every day that I substitute taught, because every student is different and every class is different. And so, but as a substitute teacher, I had to normalize my approach, and I had to understand that I'm the one that has to set the precedence of how this was going to go, and that I'll talk more about that at another time. But so number one is lack of self awareness. Number two is being unaware of the importance of the environment that you're in, and then what you bring to it. And then number three is um, new teachers may not know how to create the foundations or the fundamentals of what builds a strong classroom culture. Um, Building a strong classroom culture, you need a strong foundation, you need a strong framework, you need a strong core, and then you can build everything around that. And if you don't have that, that is the reason why you're struggling so much with classroom management. If you have a strong core in place, and core is clear, organized, relevant expectations. Clear, organized, relevant expectations. You need your core in order to build the type of classroom environment and the type of classroom culture that you want to build. And it doesn't matter if you're a substitute teacher or if you're a new teacher. Once you come into the classroom knowing what those are, then you're better able to impart that to your students. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll talk to you guys next time.